Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Rafi, GenAI Mentor, episode 2. In episode 1, we saw a few things. Let me quickly recap. We talked about where the world is going and what we can create quickly as a AI builder or AI engineer. And we also looked at how a day in a life of a builder will be there. So I'm calling it as a builder. Some people calling AI engineer. Some people are calling AI import engineer. So that is a new role in IT. So you need to work with AI, and the pace of engineering is kind of multifold speed. And we targeted to go live, but we had only 30 minutes to do last episode. So let's see. We'll continue in this episode and make it live. In this episode, the agenda is we'll do some analysis of the project that got created. We'll run the project and we'll build additional feature and I'll give some tips to wind up. So let's start. So I have set up a different view today. So I have created it's basically multi layout window. I have set up in my monitor. So I divided into four spaces, three for console. I'll explain why, and one for a Windows Explorer. So this is the project that we created last time. If you look at, there is a functions for serverless code, and there is a source code for front end. This would have been better if it is renamed as a front end or a UI. It's okay, it will work. Um, okay, so let's do the analysis of the project. Can you guess what is the line of code that generated in 30 minutes last time? Is it 500 or 1000 or 1500? Actually, it generated 5000 plus lines of code in 30 minutes. I installed a plugin in Visual Studio Code and validated the number of lines of the code. So I can just show you. But anyhow, that is not going to add more value. And why I'm calling that out is if AI can generate 5000 lines of code in 30 minutes, look at the pace at which it is developing. So that's why I want to call that out. And let's do check out some documentation. If you are writing that code at that pace, will you write documentation? I don't think so. So look at the documentation that is generated by AI. Okay, so I'll use simple Notepad plus plus or Notepad to look at this documentation. I'll use default application that comes in Windows. So we'll look at few documentation. First, we'll look at the architecture. Yeah. So it generated few documents, architecture, README, setup, etc. We'll spend 5-10 minutes here and then we'll start running the project. So it documented the architecture. So client layer, it's a Next.js app, React components, and certain components for CSS design, etc. And serverless functions are running. And I have choose Firebase services because it provides certain additional functionality, authentication mechanism with multi-provider database in Firestore and cloud function running in Node.js. So you can run in any technology. So I'm picking up same technology JavaScript for front end and back end. So cloud function is running in Firebase, which is basically Google Cloud and storage and hosting. So it is giving holistic all the functionalities for me. And external calls, it is going to Claude API for LLM, leveraging AI, etc. And LinkedIn API for maybe pulling your profile. So it could be more APIs, external APIs. So now this is the architecture. So it is giving the project structure, how it is structured. SRC is the front end components, Within SRC, you have components and pages, layout, libraries for connecting to database and agents, etc. And functions is the backend functionalities. Okay. So now it is also documented about the database object. So it created a profile object and it created, I think, agents. And based on whatever details we have given in very simple prompt, it is created. So in agent core, it is thinking about personality engine and decision engine, memory system, etc. So it is just a start. We can refine as we go forward. So this agent core will have multiple agents here. So since we are building a agentic network, so we'll have few agents to do autonomous work. So all those agents will be there in agent core, and that will call LLM, and we can add RAG, and we can add LLM, fine-tuned LLM if you want, etc. So this is your simple agentic architecture. And say when you say autonomous, there are multiple levels. So low autonomy, medium autonomy, and high autonomy. So it is giving default autonomy as a medium autonomy, where routine communication will be done by automatically by AI or agents. And important actions. If you are sending messages to somebody, it may be needing an approval, accepting a connection, making introduction, and agent uses judgment for low risk task. You come in for a high risk or which might impact your personal thing. So that is medium autonomy. Low autonomy, you do everything. Everywhere you come in, micromanagement, do an approval. Agent will give only recommendation. You take a decision. And high autonomy, it will do everything. And it will log all the things that is doing. Okay. So now, so this all the document, it created the design. I did not give any requirement. Okay. So I told what is that I want to do. So it has created based on that is building. It is building the application. So it has given uh, interaction diagram also. So user one connecting to an agent and agent discovering profile, initiating contact, analyzing and responding, recommendation, etc. So okay. So that's about architecture documentation. So let's see the README. Okay, so README is talking about again the overview of the project. What are the features are there? What are the technologies used? And how do you run it, right? So now you go to the root directory, and then if you check into the git, you need to clone. Right now I have not checked in, so I'll go to the root directory. Let's perform some commands. So since I'm using Node.js, npm is a way to get all the dependency. So I already built once. So when you do npm install, it sets up all the dependencies required for the project, and you need to create a Firebase project. So let me go to, yeah, let's do step one by one. Yeah, so I created one project. So you can just create the project if you want to create a new project. You can go here and then create a new Firebase project. So since I created a project, I'll just go there, agentic network, and where is the documentation? Yeah. So it's saying add project and give the name. I have given this and created this project. Okay. After that, it is saying go to authentication. So now I'm using set of functionality. If we see in architecture, what I'm using Firebase for. Okay, so now Firebase, I'm using authentication. For authentication, so I need to enable that authentication model. So yeah, so in build you have authentication. So in the authentication, I need to enable whatever the authentication I want to allow. So let me go to the README. Yeah, go to navigate to authentication in left sidebar, get started. And I want to enable email authentication, and I want to enable Google authentication. This name will be displayed whenever somebody log in um, with Google sign in. So this is the name it will allow. Okay, this particular project want to mm, let you sign in with Google. So better you give a right project name. Yeah. So now we completed the second this step. So let's see whether npm install is done. Still going on. Okay. So now let's continue the next step. Okay, let's set up the Firebase. Yeah, Firestore is the database. So in this build, you will have all the tools that is needed for development, and run is for your operations. Okay, I already created a database. So if you have not created, similarly you need to create database, and you select the mode and select the location, which region you need to run. So this I have just done it just as a preparation for this session. Okay, and then storage. So I created the storage. I think looks like some error is there. Okay, storage we don't need right now. Leave the storage part. So we need the database, and then okay, now we need to get this is for app. Okay, now we need to get this configuration. Okay, go to project setting. Project setting general, your apps, and click on this. Okay, this is for registering a new app. Right now, okay, we'll register. Agentic network. This is a hosting. So if you can deploy um, the application which you can access. I'll copy this. So I need to set up the environment now. Okay, in the root directory, I copied that environment. So in this, I need to set up. Okay, I'll do this environment in some other window because that is some secret entropy key, etc. One minute, I'll set up that environment. Or if I don't want to do it myself, I can ask. No, let me do it manually. So I need to set up the Firebase configuration there. Give me a minute. So whatever key that you got from Firebase, so you need to set up those keys. So API key. So I'm copying API key. I'm not showing it, but yeah. And auth domain, is there a auth domain there? Yeah, auth domain is there. So whatever you got it here, right? So all of these key settings you need to set it in the environment key so that your application can talk to database. Auth domain I have set. Project ID. Project ID is agentic network. Storage bucket I did not set. App ID will set. Where is app ID? Yeah, app ID is a big number, so let me set that up. Yeah, storage and bucket I did not set. Okay, so now I set the environment. So now let me bring back the notepad and yeah, let me re-establish this. Yeah, so now where are we? Yeah, so I set up the environment. Anthropic key. Let me double check whether I have it. Yeah, Anthropic key. I have set it up. Yeah, we reached step number 5. Okay, LinkedIn will say later, and then Firebase. Let's do Firebase in it. So Firebase in it, it sets up certain things. So maybe I'll not. Do I need to do this? Initialize Firebase if not done already. Okay. Select Firestore. Firestore functions hosting. Leave storage for now. Firestore rules. Yes. New code base now. I think I'll skip this for now because I don't want it to corrupt the file generated by AI. We'll come back to this. Okay, so now let's go and run the project. Okay, because we have done some analysis and then we looked at the setting. Okay, so now we installed npm packages. Okay, before doing npm run dev, npm run dev is a way to start the project. So I'm a little concerned about the security issues that came. So now it is saying in npm install one I security issue is there. So now let me fix that with AI. So in the one of the console window, I'll start Claude because manually I don't want to analyze and fix this issue. So I will say Okay, there are some security issues. So I will ask it to analyze and fix it. Okay, so now it will do, it will find out what is the which package is causing issue. So it's asking the permission to do a npm audit. So manually, if I do, I need to do npm audit and then figure it out which package and then why it is change the package to different version or use different package. So here you are seeing how AI can help you to do the same. So here Node Force is having high severity issue. So now it found out the context. Then it is trying to fix with npm audit fix. The less than 1.3.1 AS and 1.1 vulnerabilities are there. So for AI to work, the context is important. In this case, the context is coming from npm audit command, which is run in the bash command prompt. So it is running that npm audit. So the output of that npm audit is the context. So then it is figuring it out what is the issue. Then it is acting on it. So every time the context will be different. So now npm audit fix resolve the issue. So let's run. So right now I severity issue is now fixed. Remaining 10 moderate is in Firebase. To fix the issue, we need to upgrade Firebase to 12, which is breaking change. Okay, right now let's not do that. So now let's do npm install and check. After that, we'll do npm run dev. Yeah. So now that one high severity issue is gone, so moderate severity is there. That we'll look at it after some time. We'll upgrade Firebase. Now let me run the project. Okay, so npm run dev is for the front end. So if you want to say I'm running in my laptop, so Firebase I don't need to deploy. So I have a emulator setup, so I can start the emulator also. What the emulator will kind of simulate the function behavior in the local environment in your laptop itself. So that you don't incur any cost during your development. So now the emulator is running. So if you want to see the emulator, you can go and check here. It is local setup. So now let's close. So whatever you see here, you will have a local emulator version, so that you can. This is your local emulator. So now you can see the authentication, Firestore database, and the functions. If you want to go to particular thing, you can go from here. So Firestore, when you go here, you will see all the collections that are created. This is not stored in the cloud, so it is in the local environment. Okay, now UI is also started. UI front end, it is running in 3000 port. So let's look at it. The first view, what it generated in 30 minutes, which we just made the setup and then run. You will be amazed to see what are the functionality it generated. So let's do a quick look at it. From there, we need to incrementally make it developed, and within 1 hour, say last session we spent 30 minutes. Now we spend 30 minutes. So within 1 hour, this is the application it created. So let us see. It is taking time. Is there any error? Okay, so this is the first time I'm launching. Yeah. So this is the application. Let's look at it. Look at the view, the professional look it created. So we need to build on it. So this initial view. So we may need to change a lot of things. So let me just show you the login function. So if we need to create this itself manually, it will take a lot of time, and we'll be going back and forth. It created an icon, it created a name, and it created an application. So I'll use Google sign in for now. Okay, so looks like some permission is not there. We'll check is there any error in the console. So now we have given the context, right? The context is there in the prompt. So Google sign in login, right? So then it did a search quickly. So it searched for those keywords, Google sign, etc. And then it found out there is a Firebase auth.ts. So then it is trying to find out, okay, all the things are set up. So the Firebase rules are set to deny. So it find out where to change, and it is fixing. It helps to fix that automatically, and then it deploys also. So here in the emulator, it automatically updated, change detected, updating rules. It is also deploying into the cloud. It's thinking that I'm running it in cloud. So let's analyze this. Okay, so what did I ask? In Google sign in login, I get this error. Please check. So now that is the prompt, and there is some little bit of detail. So it is trying to identify the intent. The intent, it found out that I need to fix Google sign in implementation. So then it is trying to, it got the intent right, and 100% is getting the intent right most of the time, maybe 99% you can say. And then it is started to work on the task. So first it don't know where is the code, and then it is searching and finding out the code, and then it is trying to find out the reason for the failure. Then it identified the failure, the rules are missing, and then it updated a rule. So now if the profile and user ID is matching, then you allow. So security is taking care in a right way, and Firebase you have rules. So it is setting up the rule to allow to give the permission. So now it should work. So now let me refresh it. Yeah. So it created an account, so it worked. So issue is fixed. So whenever you work in an application with AI, so first time you try with AI, and if it doesn't work, you assist. Okay, right now let's look at the login, the home page, how professional it is. So you can just look at it. So it is giving the header, and it is set up setting, and then it is giving some default. What does it think like? What does it? What AI thinks what feature should be there for this particular application. So right now, import LinkedIn import profile is not created. So maybe we can try to create that particular feature now and close the session today. Okay. So now let me go back. I will keep this maybe in this location. Okay. So now what I want to say, okay, perfect. I can log in now and see the home page. I want to integrate LinkedIn to create the profile. Please build, please make code changes. Let me know if I need to configure anything. Yeah, so it took the intent. So whenever you give a prompt, first thing in the action is identify the intent. So it identified the intent, then it is working on the task. I will help you to integrate LinkedIn to create user profile. So it's exploring the code base. So it will understand the complete code base. Right now it is around 5,000 lines. That line number of lines it may go to more as we kind of build more feature. It is asking the permission. So now I will say yes. Don't ask for. Okay, let me see this. Yeah. See internally, say AI uses MCP and AI uses tools. So internally, it is using 11 plus tools to do this task. One of the tool is Explore. One of the tool could be Bash. So like that. So if you press Control O, it will show you that so what it is doing. So if you don't want, you can press Control O again. See, internally it is working, and as it is doing, the tokens will be increasing because it is taking the context and sending it to LLM to find, ask the LLM brain to find out what is that I need to do, etc. So that's why the command line CLI mode of working, you will be spending more tokens, but you will be doing at the pace at which yeah, super fast software developer can do. Okay, then it is trying to. It found out some config is there. It's trying to read that config. It's reading how do I do integration with LinkedIn. So when AI develops, you can kind of take. You don't need to be too much stressed. If you need to do, I think you need to search all the files. In a project, there will be too much of files, and you might not have changed those files for a long time. Knowing which file you need to change for adding a new feature that is coming in your sprint or PI, it's going to take time, right? If you use AI, it can figure out what is the location, what you need to change. It even create the change for it. Yeah. Now after the analysis, so it has a clear understanding. It need to create a backend API. It has put three tasks: create backend API routes for LinkedIn OAuth, and add LinkedIn sign-in button, and then handle OAuth. So it is going to do that one by one. Yeah. Now look at this. Okay, so now it created a proper directory structure, and let me give complete permission so that it doesn't ask every time. So look at this. So it went to project builder network source API auth LinkedIn. It created a proper folder structure. Typically, a junior developer or even senior developer doesn't follow the proper directory structure. So now let me give full permission so that we can watch what it is doing. So right now, let me bring the yeah. So SRC app API auth. Okay, so it created a LinkedIn folder and then it is integrating it. It is creating a auth LinkedIn route.ts. So it is doing a callback after signing. So it is integrating one by one. And nowadays, people are choosing the technologies for the application. So if you choose JavaScript, automatically it refresh. So on the right hand side, you see some of the code that is generated in the JavaScript frontend is getting refreshed automatically. So your development cycle also goes faster. The same applies for backend too. So if you use JavaScript Node and Next.js application, so your speed of application is faster. So you don't need to compile, um, generate the binary file, and run it. Yeah, now it is generating the UI component. So look at where it is doing. So it went to LinkedIn complete page.tx t6. So it completed the API over the API integration, and now it is doing UI. So here, if you see, it continuously coded for 3 minutes. So it is showing the time it is doing and then how much token it is sending or getting. So it can code continuously longer time with the new models that Claude is releasing. So now it completed looks like. So it is trying to build it. Yeah, so it found out some issue when it builds it, so then it is trying to fix it. Here, if you see, it is running in a bash command, and then it is getting the aid of the output of the build. So then it identifies the error and it will fix. It will go into a loop, compile, identify the error, and fix it. Yeah, when it is doing, I'll give some tips so that I think we can save some time. Okay, so now number one, when you develop CLI, develop with CLI mode in AI development, your token cost will be high. And okay, if you try to compare that, I think there is no point. So one, you need to find out there is a value for it or not. Say if there is a value, I think you need to pay the cost. So now, if it generates 5,000 lines of code in an hour, let's say in an hour, because we spend some 30 minutes for debugging and making it run, setup, etc. Um, it's okay to pay a few dollars for that. It is not too much. I think maybe um, $5 or $10 or $20. So it depends on what you are doing, etc. Right? That is number one. So there is no point arguing the token cost is high only on the cost dimension. You need to look at the value dimension. So now, if it can help me to generate this application, uh, I think it's compelling. So I'm okay to spend $10 $15 on that because I cannot hire a developer to kind of help me to build this, right? The developer cost is very less when you do with this. Token cost is there. That's a new cost that is coming. That's why people are kind of only pointing that, but it is reducing the developer cost. And second thing is this one we are using for building the application. You will also use AI in the application, so that you need to be very careful. uh, Say for example, within the function, for any use cases in the application, for agentic persona, I will call LLM to get some reasoning or action. That you need to be very careful. Don't ever build any application where you continuously calling LLM to take some action. You need to call that LLM in your application wisely. Whenever it needed, only you need to call the use case, and that should not be too much, because if you keep calling every minute within the application, and if you have millions of users in the application, it will kind of explode the usage of tokens. That you need to be very careful. But development, I feel it is worth in the CLI mode of development. In application, you need to engineer the use of AI in the application very carefully. and pick the right models. Yeah, it went through in few loops, and then the loop it took maybe 7 minutes for complete build of the feature. You can watch there. Say, it is running for 7 minutes continuously to build the feature and compile and fix the issues. And you can go for a coffee or go for lunch. So now you need to give the task to AI and it can develop. So some places you may need to do detailed specification if you want to give a proper guidance. Yeah, so now it is giving some instructions for integration. And every time it is updating environment example. Okay, it is not corrupting your .env. Let's see what is summarized. Yeah, so LinkedIn integration is complete. Here is the summary. So what are the files it created? New files, four new files and modified files. Configuration required. Okay, so let us see what did it do. Is it a LinkedIn login it created or okay? Some errors are there. Wait. So if you get any error, you can copy paste and give it to Claude CLI, so it will analyze. And sometimes you need to be careful. It will generate content, and if you work like a black box, it will create issue. So at times you may need to open the code and see. In the next episode, we'll see that. mm, yeah. So now it is asking to run. So I don't want to make that. So let me run myself. So why I split this window is it's easy for me to kind of compare. Whenever I need to expand a certain screen, I'll expand it. So let me do a sign in. Oh, okay. It integrated for a login, LinkedIn login. Okay, so then we'll build other feature in next session. So right now, Google login, it worked. We saw the initial MEP view, the basic prototype, but we need to build more features. So maybe we'll conclude this episode, and then we'll continue in next episode to build more features. So I intended to build the profile using LinkedIn, but it added LinkedIn sign in with LinkedIn. So sometimes your prompt will get a misleading intent. So that also we need to be very careful. That's one of the learning also. Right, you need to be very careful what is that you're communicating. If it misunderstands, it will try to do the work based on that understanding. So it added a login. Once we put API, then it will work. Let that be as feature. So we don't need to remove it. So now in next session, next episode, we'll build few features. So now in this session, we looked at the project running, and then so around 5,000 lines of code is generated to build in a professional way with a proper UI UX design and layouting, etc. So now we need to start building each of these feature. So each episode will build some feature. So next episode I will come up with certain feature and we'll continue. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.